Welcome back, Israel, to your Caribou Data Science channel. Today is, of course, Thursday, May 27th, 2021. It's time for your daily COVID-19 analysis. And as I'm sure you know, the numbers are looking really good in terms of the declining trends in cases and deaths. It certainly appears that your aggressive vaccination efforts have it appears that your aggressive vaccination efforts are really paying off, as you'll see in a moment here. And speaking of vaccination efforts, on Sunday I'll of course be doing 2 reports, the daily report, and additionally the COVID-19 vaccine report for your country of Israel. Anyway, before we get started, I have one favor to ask. That's that you click on that share button and share the link to this video with your friends and family today. You can share it in Twitter, you can share it in Facebook, you can share it in an email, you can share it in a text message. But I'd really appreciate if you click that share button, share this link on your social media accounts today, okay? Thanks so much, Israel. Let's get on with the show. Currently, Israel has 839,000 cases, 6,406 deaths. And, this spike, in all honesty, the mortality rate isn't really that useful, okay? But here's the news we want to talk about: the decline in daily cases, okay? And the decline, all you can see here, this is so interesting. Let's take a zoom in here. You can see there has been a slight speed bump here, okay? Even on a daily basis, you had this spiking, but while you had a slight speed bump here, you can see that it began declining. So it's now going to wind up probably being the third week in a row where numbers are going to decline. So that's good news, okay? The numbers are still looking really good for cases and deaths are still looking really good for the country of Israel right now. Let's take a look at the weekly cases. Look at this nice long declining trend. Yeah, you had a couple of hiccups, 6 speed bumps, but the trend is our friend, is clearly still downward. You can see that weekly deaths, last week's weekly deaths were a little bit higher. But then this week, it's a pretty good chance that these numbers are going to drop back down below this here, although it does look at this number's weekly deaths is a little higher than this week over here also. But still, it's still a very low total number of weekly deaths. Okay. May's deaths are going to be the lowest number of deaths since June. Okay, the way it looks right now. What's the 31st? Remains to be seen. Weekly death or monthly deaths are the lowest number of deaths since June of last year. Okay. So Israel, your number is looking very good right now, very promising. Okay, but the battle is not over. The most you have done is simply you've really thrown the COVID-19 virus for a loop in Israel. But of course, as long as there is any cases, there's a possibility of a new wave. Okay. But I think the chances that the wave would ever reach the spike it did during the, I'm sorry, I'm starting to ramble now. Before I let you go, click on that share button, share that link in your Facebook, your Twitter accounts today. Share it on your email and your text messages. I know that people both inside of Israel and outside of Israel who are interested in the COVID-19 situation in Israel. Thanks so much, Israel, for your time. We'll catch you tomorrow at the new report.